What is it? Let's raise this thing on up the flagpole, see who salutes. I learned that from David Lee Roth when he did the song. What was it? Bright Light, City Light. In the, the one about the Statue of Liberty. I forget what that one was. You remember that song, Gailey? What was that? David Lee Roth singing about the Statue of Liberty. In your bright lights, it's all right. I'm in love with the Yankee Rose. I think that was it. Yeah, Yankee Rose. There you go. That's where I learned that. Throw it up the flagpole and see who salutes. Yeah. So once again, guys, we're just hanging out today. Whatever you want to talk about is what we will talk about in general. I was looking around, like what is there to speak of, and as far as Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And holy Toledo, we had another one, another person. I'm getting all sorts of, ever since last week, I am now just getting politics straight up and down, no comic book stuff. And so I just learned that we had another shooting. That's a lot of fun. And apparently he's another crazed right-wing extremist.
Aren't they all?
Just like the Charlie Kirk shooting, right? Yeah, I know, right? Hello to Desert Rose saying go Yankees, and Dark Admiral saying hi all. What's up? What's up? So I decided to go see a movie today. And I did so because this is the last day to see it on the big screen. I don't know why I thought I had to see it on the big screen. I just wanted to. So I went and saw a movie called Spinal Tap 2, which you could tell because of the whole title and all that. And I got to tell you, man, I had a lot of fun with that. This is a lot of fun. It started off really kind of slowish, and I was like, "Whoa, I wonder if their humor's gotten too old." But after a while, it picks up. But with the Christopher Guest movies, with these the ones where basically they're the character, and then they say, "Here's the situation, go," and they just let them improvise. It's very much about the situation. They don't really tell jokes. It's just about the situation and how it's funny. And they just nailed it. It was so much fun. It was so much fun watching them do Spinal Tap again. And it was fun to hear the music. Not a lot of people know this, but Spinal Tap, they released an album in the 90s. And the whole premise is based around this show they're going to do. They're going to do their reunion show and all that. And when they show them rehearsing, they play music from both the movie soundtrack, which of course a lot of people know of, and then Break Like the Wind, which was their second album. I was very, very happy with that. When I walked into the theater, though, I made my presence known because instantly it hit me. I looked around and I said, "Oh my gosh, it's a pre-geriatric set." Did they allow anyone in here under 50? It got a laugh from a few people, but it's true. There was nobody under 50 in this audience. Not one damn person. But it's okay. That didn't bother me at all. It was a lot of fun. I do recommend you seeing it. Today was the last day my theater carried it. And I think not a lot of people even know that they made Spinal Tap.
That's what I was going to say.
But it was a lot of fun. Yeah, you had no idea they made a sequel?
No.
I think
I heard that there was talk of it, but that's so with no real movie magazines anymore, or movie press in general. That I just don't think anybody noticed.
I agree. You would think, by the way, on these services, especially the ones like HBO, Paramount, Peacock for Universal, that they would have trailers for the movies that are out in theaters. They never do. They don't play. They sometimes play trailers for movies on the streaming site. Put them out. Let everybody know. As far as I know, none. Did any of Spinal Tap die? Did Michael McKean or Christopher Guest? I don't think they did. Dark Admiral.
No.
Yeah, Harry Shearer's still kicking. Those are the main guys. They did talk about in the movie. They talked about the dude in the original movie played their manager. He died, and so you're dealing with his daughter. They do that a lot, where it's like, hey, remember this celebrity that's still alive? And they, like, Fran Drescher was in the original movie. They talked to her. Paul Schaefer was in the original movie, so they talked to him. And occasionally. No, he's still kicking. Michael McKean's still kicking. I think he is. I haven't heard he died, but yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a good time. So I figured I would start off with a review or two. If you guys have anything to talk about, it's one of those live streams. Just kick it on in there. We could talk about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. I know that there was another shooter. I don't know much about it. Also, I know Marvel Zombies came out. Don't know much about that. So there you go. But I guess I should try to get a different title there, because I don't think this is bringing in peoples. We've only got 7 people. It's Red Sox rep here. You're welcome. It's okay. So what happened?
The Yankees are now tied for first place because Boston went to Toronto and beat them last night and tonight. And the Yankees beat the White Sox, which, well, everybody does that. And so, yeah, they're dead heat for first place, and Boston's 2 games back, and all 3 of them are going to postseason baseball, it looks like. So at least I got that.
Okay. At the very least.
Yeah, because if you look at the word Red Sox, and you take the O and the X off of it, it becomes very depressing.
Okay.
Because they faced the best pitcher on planet Earth tonight. Stayed in the game long enough to survive him, went to extra innings, gave up a run in the 10th, scored 1 in the 10th, gave up a run in the 11th, and died.
And this is it's getting to World Series time, right? So these must be the playoffs.
This is the last week of the regular season. And I said, if you're trailing me by about 8 seconds, it looks like.
This is the computer I'm on. I will try to fix this. But yeah, it seems like I'm always a little bit behind on this computer, and I don't like it.
No.
I wonder, though, has anybody watched a playback? To see if it's on the playbacks, like if I'm trailing on the playbacks.
MK, I think he'll get 60, but I don't think he's going to hit. I don't think he's going to hit 3. I don't think he's going to have 4 more in 4 days. So I think Judge's record is safe. Judge hit his 50th and 51st tonight. So we got 4 guys with 50-plus homers this year. And in post-steroid era, that's pretty amazing.
Okay, let's see how that goes. All righty, who do we have in? Oh, One Sleep Dude, what's up? Pistachio was doing an exercise video, getting his stretches in. Yeah, he's been okay today. He's been moving around, and he's been all right. He didn't get overly excited. The only thing now, though, is he's biting me way too many times because he's trying to go through the shorts or through the socks or something like that. So how is Trump taking away our rights? I don't know. Ask freaking Jimmy Kimmel. Well, the whole thing, by the way, to me, it's the same thing as you guys. I mean, I don't mind. Look, if you don't like somebody, fine. If you don't, if you want Jimmy Kimmel on the air, fine. If if you don't, fine. Just be truthful about it, and that's the big thing. He comes right on and he absolutely goes right back to the lies about everything. one thing we've all said are the people that are saying that Charlie Kirk was full of hate. We know right away they never actually listened to Charlie Kirk. They listened to MSNBC. They listened to CNN. They pulled out a quote from maybe what's that Gloria Steinem run newspaper? Is that even a thing anymore? What was that called? There's some leftist rag or something, and then you find a quote from them. They pull it out. As a matter of fact, there was somebody on MS that one with the black girl. She always has the stupid people on, and then the one Republican comes in and shoots them down. He's making a name. What is his name, Eric?
Scott Jennings.
Yeah, Abby Phillips. Right. There was a dumbass congressman on there. Well, I got the quotes right here. Yeah, where'd you fucking get them, dumbass? And they just do it over. And Jimmy Kimmel, he comes on, and I saw it. I watched his monologue. I didn't watch it on Tim Pool. I didn't watch it on Daily Wire or anything. I watched it on his channel, and he doubled down. He didn't say a goddamn truthful word. Now he did say, love and prayers to the family, which I was thinking immediately triggered. Dude, 5 fucking minutes ago, you were talking about how, what was it? Thoughts and prayers don't mean shit, which by the way, they do. Thoughts and prayers can get you through some hard times. Knowing you guys have helped me with that many times when, with the death of Twiddles. You guys can't do anything. My bird died, but the sympathy was awesome. The sympathy helped. And that's what Thoughts and Prayers does. And this jackass goes after him, and now he's like, oh, I send my thoughts and prayers, and you just can't. I can't. I don't know about you. I cannot take him serious when he does that. So, but the thing is, look, Jimmy Kimmel being on the air or off the air means exactly the same thing to me. I'm not watching him. So it doesn't affect me overall. That's it. The one thing I would love them to be honest about is I would love to see Jimmy Kimmel go, well, we're just getting a taste of our own medicine. We did the same to them. He laughed when Tucker Carlson got fired. I would love to see that. Let's be honest about it. Many times, what ends up happening is we have the Democrats. They say they go after Republicans in a bad way, and the new way is to kill. They don't want this. And every time I've said this, shoot, I think the first time I ever said that, I didn't have a YouTube channel. It was long even before I even thought about it. It's actually kind of led up to it, though. I was working at Universal Studios. I didn't say those words exactly, but I was listening to what Obama wanted. And Obama, every time you would see him, let's face it, Obama was not a presidential candidate. He was a political movement all on his own. The way you could look and say, yeah, there's no way Trump is losing. There was no way Obama was losing when he ran first time. And I heard what he was saying. And every time he said, we're going to fundamentally change the country. Yeah, well, into what? And I heard his ideas, and I thought, wow, he's going to fuck people over. He is going to so fuck people over. He's going to fuck poor people over because the rich people are paying him to. And I remember some kids talking about, oh, yeah, we'll finally have a black president, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah, I don't mind a black president. You don't want him. You don't want that black president. That's the first time. That's the first time I ever said anything like that. Like, look, you do this, and there's going to be an equal and greater reaction. I guess Trump is that reaction. And ever since then, you've seen the Democrats go, well, we know that's the law, but we're going to bend it because you can't really do anything. Or you guys, the Republicans, they don't have balls enough to fight against them. So they would say, you're not going to do anything about it, so we're going to change the rules. I say, you don't want this because as soon as we're in power, we can implement those rules. And that has happened over and over and over again. We didn't want cancel culture. We were speaking out against it. We were very much going, hey, guys, don't do this cancel culture thing. It's wrong. Let people say, what they say. there used to be, Eric, do you remember this? Back in our day, you understood people had the right to speak freely. And even if somebody said something crazy, you'd be like, you're a nut bar. And you'd walk away. You wouldn't try to get them fired. You wouldn't try to get them killed or anything like that. It's just, we understood. And there was a thing. You could say what you want. And some people would go so far. My parents taught me this. They don't believe it anymore. That I might not agree with what you say, but I'll defend your right to say it. They're far away from that.
Well, the difference between when, our day, so to speak, when we went to college, our professors may not have liked one side of the aisle, but they weren't indoctrinating students from day one to not only to violently hate anybody that disagreed with them, which is what they do now. It was, like I said, I've said this a million times. First thing my sociology professor said before he even introduced himself was, "I hate Ronald Reagan." That's nice. Then he went on about, whatever it was he was there to teach, but it's a different world now, and there's been a couple of generations beyond that of teaching kids not how to think, but how to feel.
Yeah,
and
ridiculous.
That's dangerous. But
speaking of feeling, real quick, sorry to hear your mom died, Tony. I hope you're doing all right. Hope the family's doing okay. I know the generally the men of the family have to stay strong, have to stay stoic for the ladies in the family. At least that is the way mine works. I'm not putting anything on it. And I know it can be a little harder. Not harder, but differently hard for the gentleman, because a lot of our grief is done in private, while there's hugs and kisses and all around for the women in our lives when something like that happens. Hope you're holding up well. Hope your family is too. There you go. Yeah, it's just dumb. Yeah, did you see that video about the guys that went to the black college and they just tore it down?
Yeah.
And then they danced around like they accomplished something. I always wondered about that kind of behavior. Not so. I mean, it's one thing to do the violence. That part I can actually I don't condone, but I can understand where it comes from. It's bad parenting. It's bad culture. I understand that's where it comes from. When I say I understand where it comes from, I'm not saying I forgive or even slightly condone it. It's stupid. It's bestial. It's dumb. But what gets me is the act like they accomplished something. Like, what the fuck did you accomplish? That's the part that I never understood. When I have 4 stories in the entire world, so I'm sure I told this one before as well. But me and my cousin was walking home. Well, okay, starts off with a football game. Everybody's playing football, and we're just having a good time. Some black kids come up, and I thought they were going to want to play. Okay, fine. Let's join in. Come on. Instead, they decide to smart mouth and to say something. Rob didn't like it. By the way, this is secondary. I'm not here. I'm not in this part of the story. I guess I was at work or something. But Rob doesn't like the smart mouth, so he offers that if they would like to do something about these words, come on in, and a brawl ensues. One of which the ending was not what the black kids wanted. By the way, rule of thumb was don't fight the Brin brothers. They have no bones. Okay, I will tell you this: that my friend Robert, by the way, from Extreme Movie Show, there was never really a point that I didn't think I was physically stronger than him. But the guy is so effing limber. and so freaking agile. Anytime I was thinking, can I take Rob? No, because he would just be too quick. So my cousin told me this about the story. My cousin took care of his guys. They didn't want to fuck with him because he's big. But Robert was very, very handily taking care of the guys that attacked him. So they chased the guys away. They could have just played fucking football with us. Had a good time. No, they decided to fucking fight. So we're at school, me and my cousin, and he told me the story. And he goes, oh, there's two of the guys right there. And they back into the fucking doorway like they don't want to be seen. But they point at us. And we're leaving school. We go into the back. We always climb the fence instead of going around because it's a shortcut. And we hear the jingling. And I say, I think those guys are behind us. And it wasn't just those guys. Turns out it was like 4 or 5 of them. All of a sudden, me and my cousin, we have our arms pinned behind us. And a line of guys coming by, just bam, bam, bam. One hit each. They run away. And they run away celebrating. And that's when it started. What the fuck are you celebrating? What do you feel so proud about? That you hit 2 guys, you're 5 guys, you hit 2 guys once each, and you run? I don't know. I don't understand the celebration thing. These 2 guys go to a black college, and they want to do the debate. But black people are like, woo, you're a racist motherfucker, get out. And all I see in the Twitter is people going, yeah, they shouldn't have brought that shit to. No, you're dumb. You're just fucking dumb. That's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm ranting. Sorry, Eric. Sorry, I got a little bit serious on that, but there you go. The Democrats have become so cold-hearted. It's a shame what has become of that party, says Tony. I agree. The worst of I saw my boys will be boys. Yeah, fights are fights, but to do the jumping thing though, that's shit. If you stand in front of me and we fight, and you beat me, if you're okay, unless you're like a fucking mountain versus especially in high school. I was a little guy. I'm sorry, I'm getting political way too early here, Eric. Save us from the politics. What's going on, Gailey? Nothing? All right. What's up? Oh, him all puffed out like that? Yeah. He is very chilled out right now. There you go. Those gams. I'm sorry, guys. There you go.
Look at him. Looks like a stuffed animal.
He does. He's been good today. I've had him out a lot today, and he didn't get rambunctious or anything. I don't know. But I don't know where to go from here. The Dems didn't even stand up for the kid with kids. I know, right? Well, okay, you know what? That leads to something I read today. And once again, if you guys have anything other than politics to talk about, bring it on in. If you heard anything about the comics or anything, I do have something about comics. And I have a couple of more movie and TV things to talk about too. But the little kid, he at the what was it? The State of the Union. They couldn't even clap. Yay, the kid didn't die of cancer. Woohoo, he gets to be a cop. No. Trump likes you, therefore you're shit, boy. That's the message. And did you hear about the Tylenol thing today, Eric?
I truly hope that the story about the lady that is going to die is not real.
I know, right? Same here. But there are people freaking taking Tylenol to prove Trump wrong. How fucking idiotic do you have to be? You don't win. There's no winning on this. You're not owning Trump. There is literally no winning. If you're right, there's nothing to be gained that wouldn't be gained had you not drank a bottle of fucking Tylenol. If you're wrong, you could go to the hospital like this one woman supposedly did, or in 15 years, your kid has autism. And these people are acting like they're going to find out tomorrow.
Well,
Trump said nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Go on ahead.
I'm just afraid that the way things are, that what I'm afraid of is 5 years from now, the left is going to be in control of everything. And we're going to be 1984. The only way that doesn't happen is, I think at this point, almost like hand-to-hand combat across the country, and just like one side's got to lose.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be us.
I think so too. We're law-abiding.
Yeah, and I think the globalists will get involved again and just start rigging these like they rig everything in Europe. And I said, I don't want to get political because that's the quickest path to being even in a worse mood than I already am.
Trump should come out as pro-abortion. Just think how many lives it would save.
The meme today, Barron whispering in Trump's ear, "Tell them oxygen is good for them."
Yeah, they're ridiculous. Let's talk about some good news. By the way, Indian corn is back in stores. That's all.
I thought we were going to talk about good news.
Yeah, what? You don't like Indian corn?
No, actually, I do, but it's easy to pick on.
It really is. Candy corn is okay, but I like the Indian corn. I cannot eat the candy corn or the Indian corn though, because even though this might be fake chocolate, I can't trust it to have around.
Okay, what I want you to do is offer some to somebody, and as soon as they take it back.
Oh, good one. Good one. Old people will know. Yes. Let's see what we got. My friend has a son who's 6 and autistic. He has a great kid, but just doesn't speak. He's still communicates by pointing, though, and follow directions like anyone else. Yeah. I love candy corn, little drops of sugar. Pistachio doesn't know what to do with it. Like, I think it feels weird because it's waxy on his beak. Trump should go on air and tell him not to jump in a sinkhole. Sinkholes are bad. It's very, 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 very bad. You don't want to go jumping in it. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, yeah. Have you ever seen a sinkhole take a house, in real life?
Yeah. Well, no, I mean not in person, but I've seen films of it.
It is something to watch. It is.
How about when it opens up in the middle of a street and a car just drives right into it? I didn't see that, except for on TV. But there was a sinkhole in Winter Park, and it kept getting bigger and bigger. And me and my friends would go out because it was like, oh my gosh, it's taking that apartment building. It's taking that apartment building. So we went out in one day. Wow.
And
was everybody out by then?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we had sympathy for the people who lost their home because as teenagers we went, woo! Good times. Good. Yeah. But that's the fun of living in Florida. The earth just reaching in and grabbing you. Let's see what we got. Candy corn is for people that like to eat crayons without the stigma. It is better flavored crayons. Thank you. Yes. Sinkhole, aka AOC Vajayjay. I went there. Really? Congratulations on you. She's not an ugly person. I mean, on the outside. Of course, here's a question though. AOC, okay, you're going to be dishonest if you say she isn't or she wasn't pretty. But does anybody else feel this? Like if somebody is beautiful and when they speak, it's just grating. Do they lose attractiveness to you? Like, do you stop seeing them as a pretty person? Or is that just me? Did you stop seeing
Fran Drescher as attractive?
Whoa, hold on. No, I'm not talking about an annoying voice. Okay. I'm talking about like an ugly personality.
Yes, it absolutely detracts.
And by the way, the first time I saw Fran Drescher, by the way, long before I met my wife, okay, so was her in Hollywood Nights. Hey, did you come? That whole thing. So she was in a bikini or underwear. And okay. But I'm not talking about an annoying voice. I'm talking about.
I figured you weren't, but
Yeah. That works for you, right?
Does.
If you see a handsome guy, and then he speaks and he's dumb as rocks, or he's just maybe a bastard. Does that make you lose attractiveness?
Yes.
Wait, hold on. How long did it take you to lose attraction to me?
Wait a minute. You said handsome.
Oh, fuck you. He goes, wait a minute. You said handsome. Yeah. So that works with guys as well, right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh my God, Fran Drescher. I don't even care about her voice. Says Erica Boyd. Let's see. I do love me some candy corn this time of year. I wish we had a Wawa close to us. The nearest one is half an hour, because I used to like getting those pumpkin smoothies. I love candy corn as a kid, but can't eat it anymore. The taste and texture is different than I remember. Sugary wax. I met ugly ladies, but they had beautiful personalities. Yeah. Real horses are indeed pretty and handsome. Not AOC, says Eric and Boyd. Yeah. All righty. You know what? I am good. If you don't mind, I will segue into something. I know it's probably something you didn't talk about, but I'll do my little review. You guys know I've been one of the few people on this side of the whole woke aisle that has enjoyed the Alien Earth TV show. I realize we live in a world that we now have more negative alien stuff than positive alien stuff. And I like the different take on the Alien franchise. So I was in for it. I was up. Oh my gosh, this is really cool. This is original. They're doing something different. And then the last episode happened. And I was like, what the honest fuck? I mean, look, I've read Stephen King books that were great that didn't stick the landing. I've seen good movies that didn't stick the landing, good TV shows that didn't. But this one decided not to end. It literally just they need to bring back the 24. If you're going to make TV shows one season every 5 fucking years, bring that back the 24 episode format. Because there were so many unanswered questions. There were literally plot points that shouldn't have ended the show. It's the middle of the show. You ever watch that show 24, Eric? With Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland?
We're not gonna make it.
They had that line in every episode. Well, they had a structure. Like you would have the mini villain in the first 4 episodes, which would set up the main villain. You know, they would then find out, or the next level villain, which would then find the main plot of the story. We're going to go forward. So the 8 episodes would really be setting up the next 24 or the next 16. I'm trying to do math in my head. This one ends where we find the real villain. And we have been building up to this. So what happens? It's worse than the Negan thing that people were complaining about, where he hit somebody in the head, but we didn't find out who until the next season. It was ridiculous. And I got a question for those of you who watch the show as well as me, and I know that's not a lot of you. Since when were the aliens, the xenomorphs, since when have they been bulletproof? Wasn't there an entire awesome fucking Alien 2 movie where they were being gunned down one by one? What was like the 6 or 8 Marines that survived the initial landing and everything actually held off hundreds of them. This time you've got 100 soldiers and one alien jumping from one to another. You hear them firing their weapons, and one guy fired point blank. When did the alien become fucking bulletproof? I don't know. Alien Earth was kind of all over the place. I liked it. Like I said, I liked the show. It ended so freaking poorly. Sometimes I can watch stuff like, okay, the ending's bad, but the rest of it's so good, I'll watch the rest of it. How I Met Your Mother. Bad last episode. But the rest of them are so good, I can actually watch up to the end. But, not this. I don't think I'm going back for seconds on this one. He's only a few things. He's been banned by main networks. What are we talking about? Jimmy Kimmel?
No, No, I think he's talking about Alex Jones because he was mentioned earlier about getting his YouTube channel back.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, actually, I heard that they're going to be handing YouTube channels back to people who lost them or got shadow banned. So
yeah, but that's interesting. Clay Travis was talking about that yesterday. That's fine that they're doing that, but how about the millions of dollars that it cost the people whose channels were banned?
Yeah.
Are there going to be any any restitution made? Because I mean that's a legitimate question. Because like you said, YouTube banned an Outkick interview with the president.
Yes.
And I said it, and I think it might have been as a candidate, but when you are suppressing one side, and we're supposed to have the equal time rule, that's a problem. And when you're banning conversation of anybody that questioned the efficacy of the vaccine, that's another problem. And it really was taking money out of channel content creators' pockets. And it's great that they're allowed back on now, but I could see I don't know if it's possible if this opens the door to either individual or class action lawsuits.
I will jump on that shit so quick.
But that's I guess it's a nice first step, but
yeah, you're right about that though. You are right.
Not me. That's Clay Travis.
Okay,
you gotta be doing something right.
Travis was right about that, but
you gotta be doing something right to be worth $100+ million.
I point to me and just some guy. We were on the same trajectory. We were booming. At the time I got nailed was booming. I never made it past 18,000. And I look at his videos between then and there, and it's not to say that I would have followed the same path or he wouldn't have gone. I mean, he had a video that really hit when he was at about 25, 30. He had that Darth Vader video that got 1 million views. So he really did hit. But even at what I was getting, if you go for a natural progression, I would have been making videos that had 20 to 30,000 views per. Yeah, that's $30 per video. Back in the day before I basically had the wind taken out of my sails, I was making a video or 2 videos a day. So that's a possible $30 to $60 a day, which is a part-time job, I know, but it's still $2,000 a month. A lot of money to a guy like me. So yeah, I see how that is a point that's a valid point to be made. That guy running the FBI, cash has to go. Why do you say so, Black Spiders? Just curious. Oh, and RDB's talking about Kimmel, and he's right. It wasn't. He went on the air. I told you he was telling lies. He went on the air and he said that it was Trump. It was a bunch of affiliates. It was a bunch of customers that complained to the affiliates, so the affiliates pulled them. And ABC listened to the affiliates and said, well, shit, we better pull them too, or we're going to lose all these markets. Because you could see that it would be like, oh, well, it's only 28 markets. But those 28 markets represent millions of people. So Disney had to listen to that. It was a business decision. And this lying jackass is talking about how Trump did this. That's a load of shit. It is a load of shit. And let's face it, like I said, Jimmy Kimmel made fun of Tucker Carlson when he got fired. So I don't know.
Well, I actually fall on the side of a handful of people who actually did not support him being pulled in the first place, because I realized that they were celebrating, whether it was Tucker Carlson or Roseanne Barr. But at the time, it was, the market decided that if they were still viable enough to stick around. Well, that pendulum has swung in the other direction. I don't think.
Yeah,
he's on for now, but I can't imagine him getting another deal for two reasons. The late night model has it's like the comic book industry. When you become a niche of a niche, you can't afford to alienate half of what's left of that niche. Late night talk shows have elected to do just that. Now, 5 years ago, it looked like woke was going to stick. It didn't. The pendulum has swung back in the other direction. And when he's pulling 600,000 total, let alone in the 18 to 49s down to about 63,000, he's done. They're all done. Yeah.
Well, go on ahead. Please finish.
And I don't know what they'll be replaced with. But yeah, because I don't think. Yeah. So I said, well, what if you bring back a guy like a Carson? I don't even know if that works in 2025 because there are so many different ways to consume entertainment. That's another hour you can be streaming that new Netflix show. Nobody watches those. They're not even there for the people watching. They're there for YouTube clips that are posted. Oh, you can see what happened at the beginning of one of these shows before it ends. Because it's already been posted.
I don't. I don't think it's a model anymore because of YouTube. I know a lot of people would prefer to watch what are they called? Good Sunday Morning, or I guess it would be like the Daily Wire. Some people would rather watch the Rubin Report. Of course, I'm talking about on our side, but they have political celebrities. I don't think we are now at the time when celebrities are not as important as they used to be. It was one thing like, oh, they're going to have Prince on. Let's see what they, it's not like that anymore. So shows like this, even as small as my channel is, I think more people gravitate towards these than they do even, and not necessarily to mine. I'm not talking about that, but if you aggregated everything, it would be larger than the views that any of the big guys on late night TV are getting nowadays.
Well,
because we offer one thing that a lot of people like that don't, that all of them don't, and that's to go, RDV is saying I'm all for him being pulled by the network. He almost caused them a huge lawsuit. That doesn't happen with Jimmy Kimmel. That doesn't happen with what's that guy that came off Saturday Night Live? Seth, what's his name? Nobody gets that from them. Nobody gets a personal. Nobody. I mean, even with the bigger channels, you put $5 in the till at the end of the night if they don't do it right when it happens. They read off your comment, so you actually go, okay, you are part of the show. You are part of the audience. So yeah. Breen can have E and pistachio on for cool pet tricks. Let's see. Breen could be the next Carson. He's old school and gets it. Well, the pet tricks was David Letterman. Let's see. Jimmy Kimmel.
The pets were originally Carson.
Oh, really?
Didn't. Letterman just morphed it into stupid pet tricks.
Yeah, I know that he would have the animals on with like the zookeepers and all that. You give him some of that soda.
Joan Embry was probably on 65, 70 times.
Yeah. I remember her. Let's see. Jimmy Kimmel, the Streisand effect. Jimmy Kimmel should interview Gina Carano. I know, right? Let's see. I don't like how he handled the Jeffrey with thunderous applause from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I don't know what that means there, Maverick. This is how. Oh, wait, no. This is how Liberty dies with thunder. Wait, okay. I think I read two different things. While I was reading it, it moved up. So I read two different things. I don't like he handled the Jeffrey Epstein case and never worked for the FBI ever. I don't, by the way, Black Spiders, he's handling the case. Jimmy Kimmel, this is how Liberty dies with thunderous applause from Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. Actually, it's a little bit before that, but okay. Let's see. Jack Hanna was on. That's Dark Admiral. There you go. Let's see. Yes, Erica Boyd, Sinclair Group, and the Next Star both refused to air them. Represents a total of 72 affiliate stations. With, like I said, each one probably dealing with thousands and thousands of people. So
there's also, when we talk, going back to the talk shows, we think about what made them entertaining 30, 40, 50 years ago. You would have people come on to promote the latest movie they've made. Yep. And there's not that many of them. It doesn't seem like there's as many movies being made as there used to be. It doesn't feel like there's any like real movie stars anymore.
Yeah, and the movie star thing is out.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff out there that, and yet, and even with, I mean, even though there's less, they're not completely gone. But when I said, like, for example, Seth Meyers, half his show is devoted to trashing Trump every night. Stephen Colbert, same thing. Fallon takes a couple stabs at it, but like I said, but the guest pool, you used to turn on Carson to see if Frank Sinatra would show up, and then you turn on Stephen Colbert and you get Adam Schiff. Now, if you are politically astute, you know who he is. If you're on our side of the aisle, you know him as a smarmy, ferret-faced fuck. If you're on the other side, he's just boring as hell. And that's, Frank Sinatra, Adam Schiff. Last night, he had Gavin Newsom on. It's just paid political advertising now. And it's not good entertainment for half of the country, which is so divided now. At least 50 years ago, you could invite a Democrat politician on and it would be entertaining. Hell, even Al Gore, when he broke the ashtray on, was it Letterman? At least he had a sense of humor before he completely, sold out to, big climate. But
yeah,
it's and and like I said, the guests, even the ones that aren't, that aren't legitimate politicians, it's so one-sided that, again, you can't afford to alienate half of a rapidly dwindling audience.
That's true. That is,
again,
that's absolutely
broken business
true.
model.
I don't think they understand who the audience wants to see anymore. And it's definitely not in Adam Schiff.
No.
Okay, so we're being asked, who do we like better? What is it, Courtney Cox? I'm sorry, let me see if I can. MK, who's hotter to you guys and in better movies, Courtney Cox or Jennifer Aniston? Ooh, that's rough. I mean, they haven't exactly been in great films.
Well, Courtney Cox, I don't believe ever was.
Well,
she was pretty much TV.
Yeah, she was the girlfriend at the beginning of Adam Sandler's Longest Yard. So that's a good movie. She was in a film called, Commandments, about a guy who gets mad at God, so he decides to break all of the commandments. What other movies has she been in? Scream. Okay, she's got the Scream franchise. Okay, so I guess you got that. What has Jennifer Aniston been in? She was in, what's that called? Duplicity?
No, she did the Horrible Bosses, which was funnier than it should have been.
Horrible Bosses, yeah. Okay, she's got two good movies.
We're the Hendersons. We're
the Millers. We're the Millers. That was funny. So she's got three.
Right to be.
Leprechaun is fun, but it's really bad.
And
what was that movie that you? Object of My Affection was a movie Gail liked a lot because Paul Rudd was half naked throughout all of it.
But I don't think either one of them.
She's got a thing for Paul Rudd.
Neither one of them. I mean, I guess Jennifer Aniston would have been considered A-list for a while, but she wasn't in anything. She's never been in anything truly memorable.
I will say this. Both of them had work on their face, and Courtney Cox ruined hers. So right now, if you're just talking about physically attractive, I've got to go Jennifer Aniston. Because Courtney Cox did the face thing. Don't fuck with the face.
Black Spiders had a good point. Courtney Cox would have been a fantastic Lois Lane at one point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If she hadn't been busy making friends, she could have been Lois on Lois and Clark. She would have been perfect for that. It turns out so was Terry Hatcher. But that's...
Maverick saying Wonder Woman, Snow White, star Gal Gadot, anyone who is not a feminist. Wait, what are we talking about? Where did that come from? All right. Okay. Anyone who isn't, well, yeah, I guess Gal Gadot, and I find the question surprising because I think, yes, of course, every woman, every man, every one should be a feminist. Why? Because whoever is not a feminist is I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Jennifer Aniston. We're talking many degrees of difference between today and 50 years ago. For example, Democrats pretended to care about citizens and law and order at the time. Yeah, they were still around. Rush Limbaugh himself would actually point out how no, they're being racist ones, and and he would have receipts. Go on ahead, Eric. Sorry.
Well, I said, 50 years ago, it was probably true. Because the difference between the two parties was basically both parties wanted the same thing. They just differed on how to get there. And a lot of yesterday's Democrats would be today's Republicans, or yesterday's liberals would be today's conservatives, depending on how you want to look at it. But the difference between the two, and I'm not saying Republican and Democrat, because I think the Republican Party is equally worthless, because every chance they get to prove us wrong, they will inevitably disappoint you. Like I said, when they went to censure Ilhan Omar for her running off the mouth again, 4 Republicans voted with the Democrats to block it. So I mean, and you can set your watch to it. There will be that will happen every effing time. But the difference between conservatives and progressives is literally night and day now. And I don't see any coming together, because I mean, on the rare occasions when you get a unanimous vote, it's something that's just so innocuous that it's like we're voting on whether or not the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. You might get a consensus on that.
Wow. Because I know that if whatever Trump says, the Democrats are going to say different. But it's been like that for a long time. I after a while, I stopped calling myself a Republican, just went conservative. I'm a conservative. Yeah. I'm a constitutional conservative. And because the Republicans, they don't fight the way the Democrats do. The Democrats will fight dirty, and they're willing to break the law to make sure that they get what they want. At this point, okay, you set the rules. I don't want that to be the rules, but you set the rules. So let's go.
Jim Sorensen. I compare the GOP and the Vikings. If it's important, they will choke. I hope you're talking about the Nordic savages of the 11th century, because if you're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, as someone is sitting 6 miles from Cincinnati, okay, I'm done.
Right.
Oh, wait a minute. I think Minnesota just scored again.
All right. So I've been looking through like what's going on in the world. I talked a little bit about the the riot that happened at the college. Those guys went up to set up a booth to talk to at a black college, which, by the way, I don't remember Charlie Kirk or Steven Crowder doing. So here these guys go, okay, you know what? Let's see what they have to say. And it turns into a fucking riot. Ridiculousness. Let's see. Time Erica Curd to ABC, the tune will change. Time Erica Curd to ABC, the tune will change. I don't understand some of these things, and I don't know what Maverick is talking. Christian Bale says Hollywood and the world would be better if white dudes weren't in charge. Hi, Vay. You're kind of spamming the chat there, dude. We get it. We know. I mean, at this point, we know. We already know that these things. Christian Bale, the actor. Well, fuck. Christian Bale, the actor, says there would be so much better films and so much more interesting stories if white dudes weren't running Hollywood. Okay, you know what? We're good. Okay, we're good. It's early in the season. These games don't really matter. Playoffs or a wild card spot. The thing here, Maverick. Here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to talk about. We know this. So what I'm asking you is, so what's your point? See, you're putting this up there. What do you want us to do with it? That's what I'm asking. I guess that would be the perfect way. We know of this. So what would you like us to talk about that has to do with that? Because we can find a hell of a lot more than your example. So yeah, I guess that's why I'm asking. I don't want you to not be a part of the conversation. I'm not trying to do that, and I apologize if I gave you that impression. But you're just putting these things out there. It's just like this and this name and this name and this name. Okay, so what about those names? What about the fact that they have said these things? What is the hook, basically, that you would like to talk about? Because once again, I don't want you to feel disincluded. I don't, or not included. There just needs to be more than a list, I guess. Let's see. Jim is saying it's early in the season. These games don't really matter. Playoffs or a wild card spot. They're toast every time, says Jim. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, all kidding aside, the Vikings are very adept at going.
Okay, all right.
But at least they get there. And right now, I'm half convinced that you or I could quarterback the Vikings right now and win.
Because now or in our prime?
No, now. Because
these days it would be like,
Yeah, like last year, J.J. McCarthy got hurt and missed the entire season. So they pick up Sam Darnold off the scrap heap. He has an MVP caliber season and parlays that into a $100 million contract because they have J.J. McCarthy. Well, they pick up Carson Wentz off the scrap heap to be the backup this year. McCarthy goes down again. Wentz beats the Bengals 48-10 last Sunday. So it's like whoever they put back there now is just so that's a hell of a system they've got going.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here it goes. Maverick is answering what I mentioned. He says, I always thought Gal Gadot was right wing. She may very well be. She wants to work just as much as everybody else does. I'll put it to you like this. We all know Vince Vaughn is right wing. Even he did a horror movie where he kissed a guy. It's sometimes you got to buckle down, bite your lip, and do what the boss tells you, or you're going to lose your job. And I think a lot of people, you ever watch an award show and you see all the conservatives and they're all like, they're biting their lip. Anyway, I'm sorry, Eric, go on ahead.
No, to say that I think we got a good idea of who Gal Gadot was during the press junket for Justice League when that little fruit cup that played the Flash was trying to get her to denounce the patriarchy and everything. And she basically said, yeah, I get pissed off.
Yeah. but that piss off may have cost her a job or two. You know,
not at the time she was hot as a $2 pistol, but that was then.
That's true. But now she's Israeli, and there is nobody, amazingly, less popular than Jewish people in Hollywood. They're leftists. From the river to the sea, let's see those Jews die. I think that's the entire speech. You know, I know it's technically not what they think they're saying, but it is what they're saying. So I can see it. It happens occasionally. I wouldn't read too much into it. There are some people who are too big for it. If somebody tries to bully Clint Eastwood told him to go off. He's fucking Clint Eastwood. What are you going to do?
Black Spider saying, when you become an actor, you have to kiss guys. It's just acting. With one notable exception. Will Smith refused to do it.
Oh, Paul, what's his name? Died in a car wreck. Fast and Furious dude? He did too.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, yeah. There have been a couple of people.
Or you could be Neil McDonough, who won't kiss anybody that's not his wife.
And he got shit for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
That amazes me.
But he's so good. Well, at least he's got, right now, Taylor Sheridan is using him in another season of Tulsa King. I mean, he doesn't ever seem to want for work. So, yeah, it's
doing fine. Did I send? I want to check. I thought I sent a link to Dom. Yep, if he wanted to bounce on. Okay, cool. I did put one in the. Put a link in for whomever wanted to go. You okay? Wow, that was his scared jump. He's looking around. Okay, there you go. You hear that, Gailey? That tweet he just did? Should I go check the doors, see if they're locked? Pistachio he's doing the warning. He's doing the danger, Will Robinson. That's it. That's a danger tweet. Okay, what was that? We're good. We're okay. We're safe. Alrighty. Let's see. Fix housing. The government should help people, not corporations. Better food. What people? And it's a big. They do. There's HUD. There's a lot of stuff. Better food, less color. And I agree with that. American trains are an embarrassment compared to the rest of the world. Okay, we got a couple of things like that. Let's see. Correct, Matthew. There's an old saying: "A mind changed against its will remains unchanged." Still, that is true. That's why a lot of people talk. Actually, Charlie Kirk did this. He would talk to people and he would try to get them to come to the conclusion, because if they can come to the conclusion by themselves, it sticks. What's your lineup of movies for the Halloween season? I usually start with the original Night of the Living Dead, says Dark Admiral. Dead probably watched the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. How about you, Eric? What are some of your Halloween mainstays?
I have none.
Really?
I think about watching some of the Universal horror movies. I think about, other horror movies that are made throughout the ages, the years. But the problem with October is it's the playoffs.
There you go. It's the World Series and all that stuff.
Well, there are 3 rounds of playoffs to get to the World Series. It basically takes up the month of October. But I will try to mix in a Frankenstein here, a Dracula there. But like Christmas is my season for having 10, 12 movies I watch every year.
I'm sure we'll rehash that conversation as well. Gail and I, we already watched Sinister, which I haven't seen in a long time. I watched it. I was like, yeah, it was okay. And Gail watched it. She's like, scariest movie ever. And I was like, okay. So I put it on. And in order to get Pistachio to settle down, I turned out all the lights. Gail snoring next to me. I'm sorry. No, Gail doesn't snore. Yeah. But she falls asleep next to me. I'm watching this movie, and it is freaking me yeah, that was a scary movie. I liked Sinister. We already watched Halloween 4 and 5 because those were the ones that are available. I don't have Paramount up yet. I want to watch the Friday the 13th, so I was thinking about getting Paramount for the month. But we watched those. What other horror movies did we watch?
What is it?
Oh, Monster Island. Something called Monster Island on Prime. That was a cheesy, like low budget horror film. Yeah, but it's basically been those so far. When it gets closer to Halloween, at some point, I'll put on the Charlie Brown special because you got to, right? And of course, visit the original Halloween and The Invisible Man. That's my Universal guy. That's a really good movie, by the way. I like the remake, the one with what's her name from The Handmaid's Tale. That one was pretty good. The Thing, sometimes 13 Ghosts, the one that they made in the 2000s. I like the House on Haunted Hill, the remake, once again. Not really a big fan of the original anymore. But yeah, those are some of the ones that we watch. Let's see. Remember the Sandy? Okay. Lawsuit. Why can they do the same back and make them pay for it? I don't know what you're talking about that very much. Do you think Clint Eastwood would have made a better Jonah Hex or older Bruce Wayne? Yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact, if you really want to see a Jonah Hex movie, just digitally alter the outlaw Josie Wales for him to have that messed up face on the side, and you've got yourself a Jonah Hex movie, man. Tell me I'm wrong, Eric. He can't, because I'm absolutely freaking right. Outlaw Josie Wales is probably the closest that Clint Eastwood has ever come to playing Jonah Hex, and that I don't know. That may just be my favorite Clint Eastwood movie. It's a fantastic film. I love that movie. Where do you think that might sit in your Clint Eastwood library there, Eric?
I have not watched the Clint Eastwood westerns.
Really?
Yeah, westerns are not. I mean, they're not. It's not my go-to genre.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, I mean, I've gone back and watched some Jimmy Stewart westerns, John Wayne westerns, blah blah. I've never gotten around to the Clint Eastwood ones, and I don't watch nearly as many movies as I used to because the time suck that YouTube is, and sports. And speaking of sports, we were asked, how far are the Cubs going to go in the playoffs? I'm going to answer that. Here's my fearless predictions for the National League playoffs. In the 3-6 matchup, the Dodgers over the Mets. In the 4-5 matchup, San Diego over the Cubs. Sorry, Cubs fans. Which puts the Dodgers versus the Phillies, I believe, and the Padres Brewers. I think the Padres get the Brewers. I think Philadelphia puts LA out of its misery because you can spend $1 billion, but my God, they got about five closers stealing money from them. That bullpen will not survive a series. You got Philadelphia over San Diego, which means bet the complete opposite.
Yeah. Sinister scares the Schmidt out of me. Okay, I'm going to answer two more. I like to talk about the movies a little bit more than politics, but politics brings in the people, man. That's just the way it is. But Matthew is bringing up something that actually is true, and I got to admit, I'm guilty of it. He's saying funny how 12 kids can die in a church and we barely spend 24 hours on them. The death of Charlie Kirk was like a flash fire. It just took out all others, because when he died, you're right. When Charlie Kirk died, the media did forget about the Ukraine girl, and they didn't cover the shooting of the 12 kids. My thinking is probably because the 12 kids were shot by a Democrat.
Well, they're shot by was it like a transgender kid, and the poor Ukraine girl didn't fit the narrative, so they weren't getting covered by the legacy media anyway.
Like if the Ukraine girl stabbed the black guy in the neck, all over the news. We actually have the proof of the past that would have happened. I know a lot of people, wow, you guys think that, but nope. We have seen it in the past. We know it's going to happen. Let's see. During Halloween, I tend to look for the cheesiest horror movies I can find, says Jim Sorensen. Maybe check out that Monster Island. What is some cheesy horror film? I mean, not just like, oh, it was made in the 1950s. They didn't have the technology for it. But what is a good cheesy horror film? Gailey, do you know a good cheesy horror film? Like along the lines, I guess, of, have you ever seen Bubba Hotep? Where you have JFK played by Ossie Davis and Elvis played by, oh my gosh, Bruce Campbell. And they fight a mummy. That is awesome. Bubba Hotep is awesome. Actually, just look up Bruce Campbell. Cheesy horror films all over.
You want a cheesy horror film or a cheesy, some cheesy horror? Little Caesar's Pizza.
Oh, the after effect is the horror part.
It turns on you quicker than White Castles.
Let's see. I usually watch the Dead trilogy, Day of the Triffids, Thing from Another World, The Thing, The House That Dripped Blood. Love the Hammer films. MC Hammer made movies, especially the anthologies, says Dark Admiral. Wolfman has Nards. Yeah, I like that one. Gail, I put on a movie. Gail ended up watching. I fell asleep. Not that it was a bad movie. I was just tired. What was that called? The Monster Summer or something like that? With Mel Gibson. You remember the kids thought he was a bad guy? No? By the way, there is on Prime now. There's a comedy slasher called Hell of a Summer. Came out earlier this year, and that's a lot of fun. Frank Miller did a Wolverine Batman story recently. Yeah, it sucked. By the way, I did read Batman Deadpool. I read the whole thing. And there are quite a number of team-ups in that one. Jeb Wells, holy crap, he's a writer. And I say that like, wow, somebody pays him to. That was not. Did you read that? The Batman Deadpool?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad. It was bad, Eric. It was bad.
Why did you subject yourself to that?
I thought, okay, well, somebody might want to talk about it on the show. It's the big thing, so maybe I should educate myself on it. So I read it. It's bad. It's so bad.
You may have mentioned that.
Okay, so like, the Frank Miller thing, I don't know what happened to him. I mean, I've been saying for a long time now that he stopped being good 20 years ago. But I still respect him because that first 20 years was just awesome. But he stopped being good 20 years ago. And it hasn't been a steady decline. You ever see that scene in Young Guns 2, guys, where they go over the cliff and the horses tumble down and they all get thrown from their horses? It's just this big wreck of a mess tumbling downhill really, really fast. That's Frank Miller. That's Frank Miller's talent. He has not been good. I know. I'm talking about Frank Miller, but all right. It was just bad. The Wonder Woman Captain America was okay, but it was vague. There was nothing said. You could put any two characters in that same situation, same dialogue, maybe change the names, and boom, it is the same story. It was a very vague story. A good question. Can Marvel do correct Ghost Rider movies like a horror film? That would be actually kind of cool. You definitely would make it better if it was a horror film. The Frank Miller art, yes, it's not great. It's not great. Drink the tea or poop in it. Well, usually he likes to drink the moisture, lick the moisture off the bottle. Yeah, that's what he's looking for here. Sometimes I'll see if he wants, but he just looks at it weird. Now he wants to climb on it, but there you go. There you go. Yeah. Something tells me the bottle ruined Miller. Was he an alcoholic?
Well, I don't know that he's an alcoholic, but I think he had some kind of disability or disease that kind of left him shaky.
Oh,
but because he's been in poor health for years.
Yeah, that happened to the best of them. Like literally, it happened to Jack Kirby. Yeah, if you see him at the conventions, he looks frail. He was always kind of tall and lanky, but he looks frail now. He looks like he's lived a hard life, says Dark Admiral. Yeah, he does. So what are we getting? I haven't watched the zombie show yet, the Marvel Zombies. We put it on a little bit. It starts off with Ms. Marvel and Kate Bishop Hawkeye. At some point, they fight zombie Hawkeye, and also Riri Williams. It starts with them, and that's basically where I left off. It's that they find I guess an Avenger, maybe Captain America, somebody lands in the in an Avengers Quinjet, and they find a capsule, and they try to just figure out what it is. That's where I left off. I mean, it's right at the beginning. So maybe the next time we do one of these, I'll be able to talk about it more. Hopefully it's good. They said they're not going to reference the comics. I understand that. They're doing the TV show and the movies. That doesn't bother me so much. I used to want more comic book accurate movies and TV, but I don't know. I don't know if I want them messing up our stories. Have a good night, Jackson Raykirk. England team also as AKA Daddy Warbucks. I fucking wish. That would be awesome. Yeah. Together at last. Together forever. Okay, Eric, now you. And if tomorrow I'm an apple seller too. No? Okay.
I was just about to sing that.
That's for Manny. That's from Daddy Warbucks. That's
I know that.
Songs. Yeah.
That doesn't mean I know. I mean, I knew it was Annie, but that doesn't mean I know the lines.
Right. Hey, hobo man. Hey, dapper Dan. He's a good boy. Alrighty. So what else do we have to talk about tonight, kids? Before my bird gets too much into the grooming of the beard. Oh, here's another person talking about that lady who took too much aspirin to spite Donald Trump. So I don't know. Either the meme is taking on, or it might have happened. I know it could be the apple, the razor blade in the apple story. Let's see. Alrighty, but I don't know. Have a good night, One Slick. We're losing the audience. It's midnight now. It's midnight.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, are you ready to call it quits? You want to say good night?
Oh, we got a few more minutes, but
reconvene in the after. By the way, this is really comfortable. he grooms the beard. It's actually really comfortable. Yeah. All right. What's going on in the comic book world? What I used to check all the sites. I had them. What are the sites anymore? Bounty into Comics.
This is my fourth week of not buying new comics anymore. And I don't miss them per se, but I'm also not, climbing over things to hear what's going on in a hobby that I participated in every week of my life since I was 13. So I'm not really, but I am reading the Hawkman Wings Across Time and getting a huge kick out of that. It's the the Brave and the Bold issues, the Strange Adventures in the first 11 issues of his own comic. So it's nice, wholesome DC in the early to mid 60s. But I really, hey, remember I said 5 minutes ago about the Dodgers bullpen?
Yeah.
They're imploding as we speak. But no, it's so yeah, it's, and I'm, like I said, I'm in a real bad place right now financially, but I'll come out of that. It's going to cost me my, third comic book collection, but that's fine. But when I'm no longer in that situation, I don't think I'm going to go back. Because I said it's one thing I said. I realized I've gotten again to the point where I think a lot of the stuff I was getting was so I could participate in on YouTube shows, and a lot of it's not getting the bang for the buck. Now, like Space Ghost, awesome. Dick Tracy, great. Flash Gordon, outstanding. Handful of DC books. I'm not trying to. Actually, you idiot Zach is right to a point. Comics are better, but not that much better. There's just more good ones out there, but the number of bad ones still. If the good comics were Custer, the bad comics are the Indians.
Okay. I gotcha. By the way, I was actually looking up you idiot Zach, as you put it there, and to see if he said anything worth talking about. And just like it used to be, when we would go, hey, what are the crazy SJWs talking about? Can we find anything? Yes. Let's see. Been going into trades only, says Unday Quinn. I just read the trade paperback for the Marvel 2-in-1 story, The Project Pegasus, which was a heck of a lot of fun. They cheated a couple of times. Wondar was not Wondar. What was his name before that?
No, it was originally Wondar, became Aquarium.
There you go. Yeah. Well, he in one issue it's Wondar, and then it's like, hey, this time he's teaming with Aquarian. It's the same guy. But it was a good story. It was a lot of fun. There was enough ridiculousness in it. The Thing kind of got tossed around, but a lot of fun.
It was really good. I also I picked up 2 volumes of the old EC Two-Fisted Tales.
Oh yeah,
and it was their war comic, and it was definitely far less. I mean, there's no jingoism at all. It was war as a brutal reality. And there was I was reading one story where this guy looks into the camera and says, "Hey, I talked to some guy from Easy Company, and he said he killed all the bad guys," or something like that. Just obviously making fun of Sergeant Rock. Or whatever. I don't think Sergeant Rock had been invented by then. I don't know. Maybe the Easy Company had existed before Sergeant Rock. Anyway, but there's a story about this Korean guy who builds a house basically by himself, stone by stone, and he finally gets it done, and the war comes through, and a missile just takes the house out with he and his wife in it, killing him.
Yikes!
Yeah, it's just the whole thing, like just the whole futility of war, and it was a great read, and God, the talent on that book.
I thought about the same thing when I mentioned I read that 4-star battle I sold this weekend at the flea market. It was good stories. The war comics. I mean, I'll tell you what, guys, if you are done with modern comics, just look into the past. I mean, there is definitely something there for you. And also, if you are, like Eric said, he was very much a capes and cowl person. When you branch out, you'll find that those there is a genre maybe that you have just completely ignored that will kind of grab you after a while, whether it be the funny animals or the sci-fi or the westerns. Westerns and war comics have kind of grabbed me on this. So, yeah. MK is saying, "Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry."
No, so as far as war comics go, if you like your war comics like a John Wayne war movie, Sergeant Fury. If you like them a little grittier, but with a positive America First bent, read DC War. But if you want just how it probably was, read Two-Fisted Tales.
MK is asking us, who are your top 3 most powerful on-screen live versions of Superman? Mine are Smallville, Supes with his live and tie-in comic feats, Christopher Reeve. Christopher Reeve would probably be the most powerful, but in Smallville, he moved a planet. So that was very much Silver Age. So you could say he wasn't with the stuff that led up to him becoming Superman, but when he became Superman, he moved War World. So yeah, he proved himself to be powerful in the very last episode. Leading up to that, I would not count Smallville. Man of Steel. I think the new Superman is very much the John Byrne Superman, and he was the depowered one. So definitely that. And I think the same could be said about Lois and Clark Superman. So my 3 most powerful on-screen live action would probably be the Smallville, the Superman and Lois, and Christopher Reeve. Those 3. Although, like I said, Man of Steel, probably somewhere around there. Tony Hayes, I got the John Sable Omnibus, and it is great, he is saying. All righty. Dark Admiral saying he's kind of indifferent to comics these days. It's been a year since I've been in my comic shop. I'm not out, just looking at collected editions mostly. And by the way, Dark Admiral, I do have some comics for you. I pull less than 7 books a month, says Undead Quinn. I was thinking of maybe getting like Alter Ego and what's the other one? Back Issue.
Back Issue.
Yeah. Because they talk about Golden Age and Silver Age comics, I think I would have more fun reading about the comics of the past than reading the modern day comics. I want to take a look into Mobius books, says Undead Quinn. Who did Rio in the 90s? There were these graphic novels. Do you remember? Was that more Mobius? Who did those?
I don't know.
I wanted to look in. I wanted to read those. I haven't done that in a long time. Also, I would love to find Volume 2 of Alita Battle Angel. Oh no, I saw something. Oh yeah, I did. I watched it. It was one of my videos. I did the first appearance of Alita Battle Angel, and it was interesting. I was like, wow, I should read that. I was watching my own videos. This guy was good. What happened to him? But that's cool. I would like to get more consistent on talking about comics with Dalton and Dom. Let's see. Dark Admiral saying I give out comics every year at Halloween. We are known as the Comic Book House. Alrighty. No, like I said, if whenever you're ready, it'd be about $23 for the books that you got. Whenever you're no rush, it's up to you. But yeah, that's where we're at. I was looking through trying to find everybody's books. I sent some. Michael Taylor, if you're listening, just not participating in the conversation, I sent you some books just so you got some. I managed to finally dig out all of the boxes underneath a whole bunch of other boxes. Our living room looks a little less like a hoarder house, but it still is very much. Sorry
I hope he's okay.
Oh, go on ahead.
So I hope he's okay because he's not.
Michael Taylor. He hasn't been here.
He didn't show up in. We did when we did the Graphic Man show a couple weeks ago. He wasn't in chat. He hasn't been in chat on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So I
hope he is. I hope he's not showing up because I did the move and I told everybody there's going to be some time before we get in, we get done, and we send him out. And it might have been a little bit longer than some people.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
I hope.
Because we got him because he was a regular participant in all the fossil related channels first,
mm-hmm.
and then he migrated over to here. Okay. So he's not showing up there either. So, I'm just worried that.
So is he fossil age?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
shit.
He's kind of he's never exhibited any desire to be anything more than a name in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody knows him. Because most of the people in our chats have at least been on one of our streams at one point. With
By the way, I hate it like the other day when you guys tell me he's been on the chat. You don't remember him? I honestly don't. I hate it when that happens. It's just because I got a bad fucking memory now. I don't mean any disrespect, but there you go. That does happen. Yeah. I hope he's okay. I really do.
So that's So when he does disappear, there's nobody to say, hey, it's because unfortunately I said, and we've been through it, that we've lost people to, death.
Yeah, Mark C.
And I
what's his name? The black guy?
Skipintosh.
Skipintosh, yeah. I know he was more you guys' he wasn't on here as much as he was with you guys.
Well, he was more on the West's side.
Mm-hmm. But he was always a good guy. He's always into chatting and everything.
But I used to do live streams with a guy named Dante D. He lived in Canada, but I know he was going through some stuff, and he disappeared 3 years ago, and there's almost no way he's not dead. I mean, his Twitter's still up, but he hasn't posted in 3 years.
Yeah,
he hasn't made a video in 3 years. That's a shame. He was a great guy, but when there's sometimes, and that's somebody that at least you saw who he was, you knew what he looked like at least. But I guess there's nobody to get the word out that like I said, Michael Taylor. He's just like I said, he's a line in a chat. I don't know of anybody that knows him.
Yeah, I hope he is okay. I really do. You know what? I know this sounds cryptic, but you gotta set something up with your brother, man. I gotta set something up with Gail or my daughters. If anything happens, even if it's just a hospital trip. If I didn't have a phone, and usually I don't have a phone, I couldn't have gone on when I had my heart scare and done that live stream with RDV.
You were doing a live stream when I had my heart scare and I was at the hospital, and I commented in the chat. I was commenting from the hospital. Not like you were doing the live stream, but
yeah. Well, I'm a little bit. What was that called? We're self-centered. What happened to Ash and the LK guy? Asks MK. Ash. I don't know. LK, I don't LK just decided to stop. He's still in our sports ball thing, but he rarely comments. He does occasionally. I think LK is off making a name for himself. And he doesn't want our stank on him. And I mean that in a friendly way. I've seen his YouTube. He's blue check, and I've seen not his YouTube, but his Twitter. I may be wrong, but I just think he kind of broke off and went in, to do his own way, own thing. It's happened before. There's a legacy to I Love Comics, and I hope LK. I wish LK the very best. I really do.
Something happened the other day, because he's a big Indiana football fan, and they beat a top 10 team by 50 the other day, and there was something that brought it back to a UC connection. So I DM'd him. Didn't even get a response. That's the first time I haven't gotten a response. We don't talk anymore, but he didn't even bother to respond. Okay.
He's on the John Della Rose channel. All right. There you go. Well, I hope, like I said, I hope he's doing well. That's.
Wait a minute. LK's on John Della Rose?
I think that's what Rhaegar said. John Della Rose new video just appeared in my recommendations. I didn't know he started appearing in his videos. He looks different. So I guess LK is doing videos with John Della Rose. All right. Oh, okay. So here is what might have happened. John Della Rose, I've never had a problem with him. I actually liked him long after a lot of people let him go. I think he's a little bit edgy, or he tries to be edgy a little bit too much for my liking.
He's not. He's not on. That's his last one.
Okay. Yes. I was about to say, but I'll finish the story anyway. John, I invite John on the air. I have one rule: no slurs. That'll get you knocked out really freaking quick. And he used a slur for gay people. You're out. There's no warning. The one warning. That's all I give, because YouTube could be very harsh, and I've already got a couple of strikes. I don't want to lose my channel. This is the way I help out my family, so I had to boot him. And for a while, I thought, okay, if he's doing that, then maybe that LK got, I'm on this side of the fence.
Like I said, I like John, but I talk with John about sports and old comics, because I don't get involved in the drama and haven't for years. So last time I talked to him or commented, I think he did. He reposted when people, one of the verbal memes became people that you wanted to see get fired. The Florida coach, whose name escapes me, said, "I did not care for Charlie Kirk," and I responded, "There are 15 SEC coaches who deny he said that." because he sucks, and but so I said, and he responded to that, but like I said, I do get a kick out of his, he kind of makes fun of Zach's meltdowns, and I do get a chuckle out of those.
Oh, the John has made a channel of going out. I haven't watched his videos, but he is. They come on to my feed all the time, and I see he has made. Oh, and when I go looking for your boy Zach, Richard does not appear first. John does, because he's got video after video after video after video of going after DNC, and I'll tell you what, I don't think I would have the energy to do that. That would probably drive me nuts. I mean, God bless Richard, man, but get to the fucking point. That is my one complaint, and it has been since the very beginning. get to the fucking point. You know.
Well, it got to the point to where he started putting under the thumbnail in like the general information part. He goes, actual video starts at.
Yeah.
So you would know how long he was going to ramble, which, you know, kind of, you know, before he went, I don't know what. A lot of those were the best parts of his videos because they were entertaining. Yeah, I was walking down the street and a potted plant fell from the third floor and hit me in the head. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's actually, by the way, what I'm glad we started doing these again, because I think that's what this channel has actually been missing. Us. It's one thing when we're doing voices, and doing the cover rankings. It's very structured now, but it's very nice to just sit and chat about things.
But I said, I don't care that he doesn't agree with me anymore, but using conservative as a pejorative is weak. Coming from a man who votes Republican and has served in 2 wars. I don't know what he hopes to gain with that, but I know what he's not gaining is subs.
Well, I don't disagree with him completely, you know, because I've said the same thing many times. Well, I think I was looking actually, and the first meme I came across that was interesting was big surprise, guy who hates things for a living didn't like a show. Basically, everyone else liked it. It didn't just stop. It ended on a cliffhanger. No, Rich, you're wrong. Nerdrotic's actually right about this one. Idiocracy is over. It didn't end. It just stopped. The show was actually good up to the ending.
Holy shit.
What?
I wasn't paying attention. The Dodgers bullpen's gotten so bad they put Clayton Kershaw in. You won't get that because you're not a sports guy. He's one of the best starting pitchers of the 21st century, and they used him out of the bullpen to try to save a game. I understand that, Rhaegar, but it's just. Here's the thing, though. Okay, it's one thing to go after the people with the channels, but when he calls everybody that watches them depressed Republicans, depressed middle-aged conservatives, you're not just attacking the channel. It's the same thing with calling all Trump supporters Yahtzees. To me, it's just the YouTube equivalent. It's weak, and he used to be brighter than that, or at least more clever.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Clever, really? No. Well, no. Occasionally, he did come up with the. I don't know if he did, but the whole purse puppy thing.
He was clever enough to get 6-figure subs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
From scratch. Yeah, because I think he got to 6 figures before he started palling around with Ethan. But that guy's gone.
Ethan's gone. Have you seen some of the shit that's going on?
I don't pay any attention to it anymore.
I follow Edwin Boyer, and damn, Ethan Van Sciver is Edwin's hobby, it seems like. So I don't go search it out, but occasionally Edwin would be like, "Yeah, Ethan Van Sciver's still a douche." And he doesn't use those words, but that's basically every message I see. Here's Ethan again. Ethan Van Sciver's still a douche. So, okay. And this last one, I saw that he posted something, and Eric was bragging that he goes, "We have this title, we have that title, we have this, and all I could think of is, yeah, Ethan, you have it. Now let your backers have it. That would be a good thing, wouldn't it? Right. Rhaegar says, "We thank you for your service and all that, but some of my brethren are nuts." That was actually something Jack said on this channel that got him in trouble. He said not all veterans are heroes. And he's right. We've met enough even Vietnam veterans and such who are just they're nut bars. EBS is still drama farming. Watch out. Oh, watch out. Okay. I don't care. I mean, you know what? It would be a view boost. I don't give a fuck. I honestly don't. What's he gonna do? You gonna offer to be on the channel where he's gonna say, "First, let's pray." I saw that nerdette thing a long time ago, and that just killed me. All right, I've done my time on it, so. Let's see, streaming thoughts during his live streams now. Yeah, I don't know. You guys know my videos when I make them. It's hey, True Believers England team here. Get right on into it. Yeah, maybe a little bit of personal thing would have helped, but I do the same thing when whoever video I'm watching, because usually a modern day video goes like this. Let's see, Wolverine. Wolverine has been around since the very beginning. Before we talk about him, we have to go all the way to the beginning. Paper is pulped by wood, and it's like you don't have to go that far back. If you're telling me this is why this failed, you don't have to say this is why this movie failed. We're gonna go all the way back to the beginning of cinema history. No, you don't have to talk about why this movie failed. But so many fucking videos do that now. It's like, okay, we're going to talk about this, but first. The video title said, let's do that. But there you go. But then again, as far as live streams, what do I know? I'll put something in the title, and we might never talk about it on a live stream. So I guess I'm guilty of that. Guys, if you see someone pregnant chugging a bottle of Tylenol, just shake your head and move on. Well, unless it's a loved one. It kills me. These idiots. I don't know. Did I already have this conversation, or was it just with you, Gail? Well, I was talking. There is no winning. There's no winning. Because if nothing happens, then it's the same result as if you didn't take the Tylenol. But if something does happen, you fucked up your kid for Donald Trump. Get some fucking perspective in your life. Hey, look, best president since Ronald Reagan. I stand that. Maybe even better than Ronald Reagan. I will stand by that. But you know who isn't knocking on my door to help pay my rent? Is Donald fucking Trump. It kills me when people give up family or give up their lives or give up freedom or anything like that. Put your child in danger for a fucking politician. That just kills me. And yeah, I'm one of those who lost friends. I lost a really good friend. I lost a friend that I invited in my house. He slept over, not in that way, of course. I'm here. But he knew my kids. He knew my wife. I literally would call him brother, and I meant it. It wasn't just, oh, brother, I mean, it was, what was like Scrubs. It's guy I love, absolutely love this kid. And he gave me up because he got into communism. And every time he would try to tell me something, I had an answer for him. And literally the last thing he ever said to me was, you have an answer for everything. I can't deal with this kind of negativism. I'm not being negative. I'm just telling you the truth. They're telling you the lie. I'm telling you the truth. And lost a good friend. You remember Tony. Yeah, great guy. My door is always open. But it's horrible when that happens. I ignored EBS, DNC, JDA, their background noise, not to care, says Linda Quinn. Let's see, who has more knowledge comics, Nerdette versus Casually Comics Girl? I don't know Casually Comics. I've seen a couple of her videos. She seems to know her shit. I know Nerdette knows some stuff. I don't know. I don't think she has Casually Comics just based on the videos. I don't think she has it. You can't fix stupid. Also, Tylenol even says don't. I know, right? What gets me is, hey, look, we've been told so many times Tylenol is the safe drug. Did you take Tylenol with Elizabeth? And look where we are. Let's see. Some of the Tylenol pregnant women are posting videos, but are fake. I rather they fake it. I know, right? But it's still, yeah. I mean, I guess faking it is because if you have a blue check on Twitter, you can get paid. If you have your TikTok, you can get paid. But it's ridiculous. Never respond to a blue check that's doing or saying anything crazy. That's why they're doing it. They just want the reaction. See, people are dumb. Don't forget person put Gorilla Glue in their hair. Yeah, that's dumb. Good friend of mine has an old friend with a master's degree in something and uses that to try to win arguments with him over communism. Also, he is nuts now in 2025. Also, the Tide Pod eaters. One of my favorite memes is Donald Trump laughing. It's just him. And it says above it, your generation eats Tide Pods. That's some funny shit there, man.
That's it, I like the one, my generation is going to change the world. And then they show some like army guy says, your generation can't change a tire.
Yeah. MK's asking, what's dumber, the pregnant chicks taking Tylenol despite Trump, or the people who said Trump said drink bleach to kill COVID, then some did it? Anybody who actually follows that kind of advice is a dumbass. I don't care who says it. And there are people who will follow that kind of advice. It's the Joe Camel thing. When I was 17, I heard, wait, Joe Camel was made to make me as a kid smoke cigarettes? That's ridiculous. Who would do such a thing? And then find out a whole bunch of teenagers did. That's ridiculous. I never really, I mean, I've fallen for some stupid shit more than I would actually care to admit. But, I mean, after a while, don't you get to a point where you realize the manipulation? And maybe, I don't know, maybe it takes a special person to or not to fall for it. I mean, once I see the manipulation, I get insulted. So, let's see. Hey, Birdie. Yeah, he's
brother, I think it's about time to wrap this up.
All righty, why not? I may do this again tomorrow, depending on what Gail wants to do. If she comes home, she just kind of lays down and just is lazy.
I'm off tomorrow.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But sometimes we go out, and sometimes you just want to lay down and sleep. If you're sleeping, I'm going to make it difficult for you by starting up a live stream. There you go. So, yeah, we may do this tomorrow, but we will be doing a cover ranking on Friday, which will be either Nova or what's the other one? The 14-issue miniseries.
Night Force.
Night Force. Thank you. There you go. With that being said, thank you very much for hanging out with us and tolerating Pistachio here and me. Everybody's here really for Eric. We all know that. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching. You kids have a great time.
Good night, kids.
All right.